Howdy, Banger pals. Blayne Smith welcoming you to another Overkill Reviews, Banger's weekly metal review show. And as promised, I'm talking to you about what might be the weirdest death metal release of the year. From Bedsore's new album. It's called Dreaming the Strife For Love, out November 29th on $20 Spin. Bedsore are an Italian progressive death metal band formed in 2018. This is their second album, with their first being in 2020. If you've heard of them or not, it does not matter because this album's a little different. Calling them progressive death is, well, we'll get to that. Before we do, just big kudos to them for this gem of a band photo. Bravo, boys. Bravo. Just don't let Twitter see it after the meltdown they had about Tomb Mold's outfits. They can't handle this level of smooth. The frustrating thing about when bands integrate death metal into another style is the term deafened isn't a thing. You can certainly blacken things, but there's no death metal version of it that really rolls off the tongue for when people integrate elements of death metal into a different style. Maybe that's why people keep putting black metal vocals in everything and making combos more cursed than any flavor that Combo ever came up with. Combos, the official cheese-filled snack of NASCAR. So, unfortunately, a band like Bedsore has to get billed as progressive death metal, and if a prog death fan's mom slips this into their stocking Christmas morning, there's going to be a very disappointed little boy. Though I'm sure those tears will just melt away when he opens his brand new Solar guitar. The joke here being that prog death fans are both spoiled and have no taste. Bedsore have handled this rather well. Their Bandcamp page states that they are 1970s death metal, which is quite clever and accurate. This is an album that lives in the analog most definitely. The rich synths and organs are going to leap out at you immediately, and at this point you might be thinking, boy, this is a lot of dancing around to say they sound like Blood Incantation, and no, they do not sound like Blood Incantation. Blood Incantation are firmly a death metal band that play around. This is like full 70s prog, and they also yell like a death metal guy sometime. Allow me to demonstrate. Any complaints yet? Huh? What? Sorry. Since the prog makes up the lion's share of the soundscape, we'll start with that first. And thankfully, it is sublime. It's not just great synths, organs, mellotrons, keys bringing the warm. Yeah, the guy plays a lot of things. It's like every band member had to also do that to ensure their prog cred. 12-string guitar, classical guitar, fretless bass. Even that wasn't enough. They were like, prog people love guest musicians. We got to get some folks on here. So add flute, sax, trumpet, trombone. Get some lady singing in here stat. And I'm sorry I'm not crediting any of these people by name, but all of these names are very funny because they're very Italian, and I'm going to laugh at one of these last names, and then I'm going to get someone's Nona breaking a wooden spoon over my ass covered in red sauce. There's a guy on here named Giorgio Trombino, and he is not the trombone player. Are you fucking kidding? See, this is me trying not to be racist. They managed to avoid crossing into excess with this stuff, which is the biggest prog pitfall. It all should be on here, from the tasteful flute on Scars of Light to the smooth sound of fretless bass on Realm of blah, 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 whatever. I'm quite glad they put it all in here. They avoid another prog trap by not being too anchored in these sounds of the past. I mean, obviously they're not anchored in the past. They put death metal on here, but it extends to the actual prog as well. There's certain parts of realms of, as we've already established, whatever, that jump out as very Rush. There's also a part on Scars of Light that jumps out as very Risk of Rain 1 soundtrack. So the perfect mix for a Blayne. Any complaints yet. Wait, what? While Bedsore used to be more of a death metal band on previous releases, the death metal has taken a bit of a backseat here. In the past, they were much more of a death metal band, and all I gotta say is, thank God. Not that they played bad death metal, but we have enough progressive death metal bands and not nearly enough of whatever the hell this. Oh, right. It's 1970s death metal. Duh. We needed more 1970s death metal. Naturally, there isn't as much in the death metal world to compare it to as a result because it's kind of singular. I mean, saxophone plus progressive death metal are going to lead one to ask, Rivers of Nile, and there's certainly a bit of that going on here, which is great news now that Rivers of Nile sucks ass. And hey, if one of these guys gets in trouble for their Twitter behavior, at least they can use the excuse of being Italian. Probably the only real one-to-one I hear on the record is the death metal vocals dip a little bit into Johannes Anderson of Trimbulation sound. See, I do it with everybody. Easy Italians. Haven't had any complaints yet. Wait, what? The real question is, does it actually work together? And the answer is yes. Quite well, if I do say so myself. And not just myself, my Twitch chat loved it when they heard it too. Because as a reminder, I do stream on Twitch. And starting today, it's my partner anniversary subathon. What the hell? I stream as long as you force me to. Last time it was like 50 odd hours. This stream, I'm trying to do the Herculean feat of listening to every single Japanese heavy metal band that's ever existed since the dawn of time in one sitting. You can come out and do it with me. You can force me to drink beer, Blayne punishments. I'll be giving away band shirts. It's going to be a wacky time. I hope to see you there, and I hope I can stick the landing transitioning back to the review, because this is a pretty big jump. I wonder if there's anyone I can ask for tips on how to go from two disparate topics smoothly. Oh, I know who I can ask. Bedsore. I don't know if you've heard album 1, but it's not what album 2 sounds like. A band can rarely make this big a leap from album to album and not completely bung it up. Like, there's a split between album 1 and 2, I guess. It's got one song on it, though, admittedly a 16-minute long song, but that's it. Album 1 sounded like album 1. Album 2 sounds like album 2. There's a split between it, and the split sounds like album 1 as well. This is a jump that would have taken most band like 10 years and 3 albums to do. I guess maybe if you were a big fan of the band prior to this, you might feel some type of way, but they formed in 2018, released a demo, an album, and a split prior to this. Boo-hoo, kid. Beat it. This is our band now. I cannot think of anything that sounds a lot like this all the way through. There's little bits I hear, but not as a whole. Though I'd love you to prove me wrong about that and provide some examples in the comments below that I can listen to, because I love the way this sounds. But so help me God if you say blood incantation. It's not that I don't like blood incantation, but this doesn't sound like blood incantation. I will say it does sound distinctly Italian. This is some analog style mixing that they are professionals at. Also, as if the band wasn't proving they could do it all already, they even wrote a singular one, just one, but they wrote a song of normal length for the album, and I really like it. Have a listen. if you need help with your writing, Grammarly might be able to F off because we don't have to have ads here because we have a Patreon campaign. Hell yeah, you give us a couple bucks. I don't need to sell you some stuff you don't want. It's a great deal. And if you can't spare the dollars, just a like, a comment, and a subscribe goes a real long way. To the conclusion. Man, 0 complaints, and they made something seemingly pretty new? That sounds like a 5 out of 5, but I've become so weird and precious about perfect scores. I've only given out 2 for realsies. Bellwitch, and yeah, that turned out okay. And Hooded Menace, and I'm always going to be fine with that. You know what? The band kneecap themselves releasing this November 29th, I'm sure obliterating a whole load of potential coverage for the boys. So let's just give it up for them. 5 out of 5 Italian skulls with the Italian flag waving behind them as the Italian national anthem plays. Whatever the hell that sounds like. Of course, I have shoutouts for you. Of course, they do not sound like the band that I just said sounds like no one else. If you want something weird, I have some blackened death metal on Everlasting Spew for you. It's called Feral Forms Through Demonic Spell. Also comes out today. And I guess like a heavy doom band works with this too. The Watcher, Out of the Dark on Cruz del Sur Music. Again, also today. So let me know, are you popping off about this Bedsore record as hard as I am? This record is crazy cool. Honestly, I love it. I'm so happy.
Oh my gosh. Elvira, I'm sorry. Are you all right?
Yeah, I think so.
How's your head?
I haven't had any complaints yet.
Excuse me?
Oh, I think I'll live.